Hey, I'm your host, Lindsay Lyman. I've spent the past 11 years at one of the largest tech companies in the world. My goal is to be the EQ leader for those working in high IQ tech settings. Because without solutions to deal with the constant reorgs, bad managers, and that hum of anxiety, you're one escalation away from losing it. But there's an easier way, and I can show you how. Let's go. Hey friends, how's it going? I'm back. I took a couple of weeks off to enjoy the holidays. I hope you had a good holiday season, a great New Year's. There were some crazy adventures that happened that I will share at a later date. But what I'm most excited to share with you today is on the day this comes out, Friday the 13th of January, 2023, it is officially my last day at my corporate job at Amazon. I've been with Amazon over 11 and a half years, and it has been an amazing and wild ride. I have so many things I want to share with you, and I will have an episode specifically kind of about some of the biggest lessons I learned about my time there at Amazon. But today, it's a big day. It's a big milestone. I'm really going to miss some of the amazing people that I have had the chance to work with. But the time has come for me to go all in and to do my coaching business full time. So good news for you. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be more focused. There are so many amazing things coming this year as I really make this my full-time job. And make sure that you subscribe to the podcast. I most likely will start dropping a few other podcasts outside of the regular cadence with just some additional insights and trainings and workshops and things that I want to share with you all. All right. So it's the beginning of the year. Typical time where people are talking about New Year's goals. I got to be honest, New Year's goals don't work for me. It sounds good in theory, but I have a tendency to get into this all or nothing mentality. And I generally set a goal that's too big and not realistic. And I get a little bit obsessed and I go all in bigger than I should. And that works for a couple weeks, but then it's just not sustainable. And then I quit and give up. And then it's just another thing I'm kind of mean to myself about. So I've just decided New Year's goals are great. But for me, I kind of like to have what is my intention? What is my focus I want to have for the next year? I guess I did technically have a goal last year. But last year, my goal was to wear more lipstick. That's what I decided I was willing to commit to. I had a lot of things going on. I just wanted to wear more lipstick throughout the year. Why? Because I just feel better when I wear lipstick. I do it for me. It makes me feel more alert. I feel more prepared. I feel better inside. So I just wanted more of that. And I did a pretty good job. I'm wearing a lot of pink and red lipstick these days. I highly recommend it. I also have a friend, Emily, who I love. And this girl is just hilarious. She's the type of friend that we'll be in a public restroom going to the bathroom side by side. And all of a sudden I will hear a piccolo playing because of course Em has a piccolo in her purse. And why wouldn't you naturally bust it out and play it in a public restroom? This is just Em. This is the type of person she is. One of the things she does that I always think of her at New Year's is she has a word of the year. And she makes sure the second that clock strikes midnight, that word is the first thing she says in the new year. I love it. So I'm always like, Em, what's your word of the year? What's your word? And I always think of Em when the clock strikes midnight. So, there could be something to it there. So this year, I'm not really setting a goal. I'm setting a focus. And I wanted to kind of share it with you to see if this is maybe something that resonates with you. So one of the things I've noticed where I really kind of get in this struggle, negative, heavy, hard, life is challenging cycle is I keep telling myself and I keep thinking the thought, I just want to break. I just want to break. I want to take a break from Amazon. I want to break from coaching. I want to break from my kids. I want to break from the responsibilities I have at church. I just want to take a break and not have to make dinner one night. I don't want to have to do the laundry. I want to take a break from all the political crap and heaviness. I want to take a break from COVID. I want to take a break from social injustice. There's so many big, heavy, nonstop, continuing to happen day after day, and some light, not heavy things. And I just kept believing the story of like, I just want a break. I just feel tired in my bones. And a lot of my friends and family around me are like, yeah, I get it. Like they back me up and they add a lot of reasons I can believe this thought of like, I just want to take a break. I've gone on vacations. I've taken time away. I've taken time off. My kids go to their dad's every other week. I don't make dinner every day. I shut off the news. I will skip a Sunday at church. Like I do these things to take that physical break. It still wasn't making me feel any more rested or alive or regenerated inside. So I would go on vacation and feel great and wonderful while I was there, but 2 weeks later, when I'm back in the normal grind, I'm like, ugh, I'm tired again. I just want a break. I think of like sleep. I have a love-hate relationship with sleep. I love it. I love a nap. Oh man, I love a nap. But I also kind of hate it because sometimes if I nap too long, it screws up everything and then I can't go to bed and then I can't get up and it just goes from there. Or sometimes if I sleep too long, it actually makes me a little bit more groggy. Sometimes what I found when I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take this Saturday and I'm just going to be lazy. I'm going to do whatever I want all day. I'm going to take a break. I can sleep in. I can do nothing. I can watch TV, like whatever it is I want. What I found during those days, I didn't actually feel better. It just kind of made me feel crusty and lazy. And usually on those days, I eat random crap food all day and I physically don't start to feel very well. And taking too many of those lazy days, for me, I'm not saying this is for everyone, but for me, it really kind of puts me into this depressive state. One of the other things I tend to do when I just need to take a break is I scroll social media. Y'all, there are some hilarious, funny things out there, and I love it. I could spend hours doing it. And afterwards, again, I'm kind of back in this depressive state because I'm like, oh, I don't actually feel better. Or I would start watching TV when I would crawl into bed and wanted to go to bed, and I'd get sucked into a show and I'd be like, yeah, just one more episode, just one more. Psychologists talk about this in terms of like revenge bedtime scenarios. Like I feel like I deserve it. I've worked so hard all day. Like this is my me time. But the reality was I was just staying up later than I wanted to and not sleeping, which then impacts everything. And again, I just want a break. I would watch TV, but it wouldn't make me feel better long term. It's like if you've ever seen that movie, What About Bob, when he goes on vacation from his problems. I love that show, P.S. This revenge bedtime social media or TV watching, it's like I'm just taking a little vacation from my problems, but I'm not actually solving the problem that makes me want to take a break. What I knew was if my life is such that like I always just want to take a break from it, and I don't mean like in an extreme unhealthy suicidal standpoint, but if I'm just constantly like dragging myself through the day, something's wrong. Like that's not the kind of life I want. But my brain wasn't able to figure out what to do because I'm like, I have bills to pay. I have kids to take care of. Like I have obligations. I have duties. I have things I do actually want to do. I do want to have a spiritual practice. I do want to eat healthy. I do want to live in a clean house. I do want to stay educated and help give back to society. But I was struggling to know, how do I get that break? How do I get that rest? How do I solve the problem so I'm not wanting to escape it and take a break from it? So I was working with one of my coaches the other day, and I had this total aha moment. We know we need that like physical rest and sleep, but you don't just need a break to veg out. We need to be taking daily breaks that re-energize us, that invigorate us, that drive us, that help us feel motivated. Like I want to take the kind of break where I'm not just like mentally and physically rested, but where I am rejuvenated. Most of my days at Amazon, I ran back-to-back meetings. And I know that sucks the life out of me because my brain gets so intense in the meeting and goes from meeting to meeting. And context switches between all these things that I just kind of get overstimulated and overwhelmed. At Amazon, we write a lot of documents, a lot of 6-pagers. I do a lot of writing in my line of work. It takes a lot of mental focus. It physically drains my energy. My work also entailed that I was participating and leading teams and things during multiple high intense escalations. That takes so much focus and brain power when we're in the middle of the kind of emergency situation, trying to help find a path forward. Takes a lot of energy. What I know is like taking breaks can energize me, but numbing out during those breaks, whether it's with TV or social media or sleep, doesn't actually fill me up and rejuvenate. So as I think about what my focus is this year is to no longer tell myself I want to take a break, but to tell myself I want to live a life where I know how to refresh and energize and rejuvenate myself daily. So I want you to think about what are those things that really rejuvenate you, that get you excited, that get you worked up, that make you feel alive and full of energy. If you're anything like me, most likely you can figure this out for the big things. For me, I love like a girls' weekend or a retreat. I love motivational speakers. I love good coaching sessions. I love going to like coaching conferences with other coaches or learning about psychology. Like I'm a psychology nerd, and this kind of stuff I could geek out on for hours and talk to people and leave these events feeling extremely energized and full of life and motivation and drive. But daily, I'm not going to go on these retreats. I'm not going to go listen to a motivational speaker every day, or it's probably not going to have the same impact. So what I'm really working on this year is making sure that I schedule in those big things that I know rejuvenate me, because I want to keep doing those and doing more of them. I might even plan some myself. Hopefully you'll come along for the ride. But what I really want to do is figure out what are those daily things I can do in small, consistent ways to rejuvenate myself. Now, I got to be honest, as I was working with my coach on this, she's trying to help me figure out like what are some things that rejuvenate me. And I was like, honestly, I have no clue, because that's not how I've scheduled my life. That's not how I've operated. I tend to just stay super focused in work productivity mode. I would go from my Amazon job to my job as a mom, taking care of a house, to coaching, to church, to bed, and like rinse and repeat. My coping mechanism to deal with so much of that stress and anxiety and overwhelm was to just like double down on work and get it done, which is fine. And it served me very well, but it's not rejuvenating to me. So what I started out doing is just scheduling in like 30 minutes of rejuvenation time. I got to tell you, I'm terrible at it. I'm trying to get better. I still haven't figured this out. But every day I try to take 30 minutes of rejuvenation time. And honestly, the first week or two, I just scheduled it and I would like sit on the couch and be like, okay, what's going to rejuvenate me? And honestly, sometimes I could just laugh at myself at how ridiculous it is that I couldn't think of anything, and it kind of rejuvenate me because laughing does that to me. But then fast forward a week or two and I was like, okay, this is dumb. I need to just start trying things. I think of it as like science. I'm like, I don't know. Let's go make it up and try something. So I would go and take the dog for a walk. A lot of times that does rejuvenate me. I like the fresh air. Sometimes it didn't, depending on how cold or rainy or wet it was, or if it's too slippery, it's not rejuvenating to me. As I've mentioned before, I love the game Beat Saber on the Oculus or whatever it's called these days, the virtual reality headset. Playing Beat Saber, it energizes me. I love it. It's got some good songs, some good beat. I move my body. I can finish playing Beat Saber and I'm like, okay, let's go. I got a little bit more energy running through my body. I found sometimes reading a good fiction book can re-energize me. I've tested out doing a puzzle. Sometimes that rejuvenates me. Sometimes it doesn't. Just depends on the day. I love a good, slightly tacky, grandma-looking craft project. I found crafting, making things really rejuvenates me. In particular, I love felt flowers. I love making felt flower arrangements. That energizes me. Sometimes checking something off my to-do list that's been there forever is really rejuvenating. So it's not the like, oh, I need to do the laundry. Oh, I need to return this thing. It's more so like every time I walk in my closet and get dressed in the morning, I see that t-shirt drawer that's just exploding and I don't even want to address it. Getting that done energizes me because now I know every morning it's not going to like suck a part of my brain energy telling myself, oh, I need to get that done. So those are some of the things on my to-do list that rejuvenate me. Other things on my to-do list don't. Again, I'm just trying to play with it. Some days these things work and some days they don't. You've got to figure out what is going to build you up and energize you in these tiny little ways daily that you can do consistently. I know I'm an extrovert. I get hyped up being around people. I love an open mic and I love being around people for the most part. Sometimes I'll just go stop by a friend's house. Totally energizes me. Other times I'll plan like a fun date night out and get really excited about what we're going to go and do. These are just a handful of some of the things I have found that rejuvenate me. Again, they don't work every time and every day. But what I do know is when I make a purpose and conscious choice to take a rejuvenation break every day, it is really starting to make all the difference. Because now when I come back to that document I needed to write at Amazon or pile of laundry I needed to fold or kid that needed help with their homework or whatever that thing was, now I was replenished. I had more energy. I was more focused. I was more present. I enjoyed it more. I showed up as a human in a way that I liked more in those moments because I had taken that moment to rejuvenate myself throughout the day. I would encourage you to not only play with what is it you need to do during this rejuvenation time that energizes you, but what time of the day is it most beneficial to you? There's no right or wrong way to do this. But if you find yourself in the same pattern that I was in of just feeling like you just need a break, you're most likely burned out. I know I am. I hired a coach specifically for this and she's amazing. I'm learning so much that I can't wait to share with you guys on burnout. But look to see what are those little consistent daily things you can do to try to rejuvenate yourself. And selfishly, I'd love it if you shared. Come share with me over on Instagram or send me an email. I'm Lindsay at lindsaylymancoaching.com. I want your ideas. I need help. What rejuvenates you? Let's help each other out. Let's help get a huge list of ideas of things we can do in 20, 30 minutes a day that help energize and rejuvenate us so that we can keep showing up as our best selves. Okay, you guys, I am beyond excited for this year. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all of you that reached out saying, Lindsay, I haven't heard from you in a while. Are you okay? I miss your podcast. I love you. I see you. You're amazing. You got this. Have fun. We'll talk soon. If you listen to this podcast and feel heard and seen for the first time in a while, this is just the beginning. I offer a limited number of free coaching calls. On this call, we'll talk about what's going on and you'll leave with specific ways to start feeling better today. So listen to that inner pull and let's chat. Grab some time on my calendar before I'm booked up. To schedule a call, click the link in the show notes or go to lindsaylymancoaching.com/chat and sign up. You got this.